Have you felt it lately? That unshakable knowing, like something deep within you has started shifting quietly, but undeniably. Before your mind can explain it, your spirit already understands. This moment feels different, not by accident, not by coincidence, but by divine design. There's a reason your soul is awake right now, alert before your thoughts catch up. Because what's rising in you isn't random, it's sacred. It's timing, divine, deliberate, deeply personal. God waited for this. Not because you weren't ready, but because the world wasn't. What He placed inside you wasn't meant to be casually introduced. It was meant to be revealed. You've never been behind. You are being aligned. Not rushed to match the noise of the world, but attuned to the frequency of heaven. And that frequency, it's shifting in your favor. This isn't a breakthrough built on force. This is something sacred stepping into the light, unapologetically, because God doesn't move on hype. He moves on completion, rootedness, readiness. You didn't skip any steps. You embodied them. And now, what's unfolding won't need defending. It won't beg to be noticed. It will stand on its own. You carry something that cannot be copied. That quiet authenticity, that spiritual depth, that unshakable clarity. It's about to turn heads, because truth makes a sound of its own. There's a light around you now. It was always there, but now it's visible. Not because you finally became enough, but because you finally became clear. Clear on who you are, clear on what you're not, clear on where your peace lives, clear on who sent you and why. Now that this clarity is rooted in you, God is ready to reveal what He's been refining. You're not waiting anymore. You're unveiling. There's a reason things are opening, softly but surely. Why new doors are unlocking without force. Why opportunities feel effortless. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's alignment. God waited for this version of you, not the one who questioned everything. Not the one who sought constant reassurance, but the one who learned to walk quietly, even when no one was clapping. You've stopped needing to be understood by noise. You're not announcing your worth. You're simply living in it. You no longer enter rooms hoping to be accepted. You arrive like you already belong to the air. You don't hold peace like armor anymore. You wear it like skin, not for attention, but because it's finally natural. And that's what makes this moment undeniable. You're not stepping into something new. You're becoming what was always promised, not just the prophecy, the proof. And proof doesn't argue, it simply appears. That's why the energy around you feels different now. Why people pause before speaking to you. Why you've stopped explaining who you are and started protecting the atmosphere you carry. Your life doesn't need a narrator anymore. It's beginning to speak for itself. And those who didn't notice before, they'll feel it now. Because God is about to make it unmistakably clear. Not through noise, but through the shift in everything around you. Your opportunities, your conversations, your alignment, your peace. This isn't about attention, it's about evidence. You don't have to prove you've grown. Your presence already says it. You don't need to convince anyone you're chosen. The way things are aligning now, the way heaven is moving behind the scenes without your effort, that is confirmation. This is divine timing, not rushed, not loud, but perfectly placed. You're not being elevated to impress others. You're being positioned to fulfill something bigger, something they might not see, but heaven never missed. That's why this moment is sacred. Not just because your life is shifting, but because God is finally revealing why He chose you in the first place. And this is just the beginning. You don't need to chase what's already written. And what's written for you, it's moving now. Not because you hustled harder, not because you cracked some secret code, but because your soul has finally aligned with the blueprint God's been holding all along. And when alignment meets readiness, things don't move slowly. They click, they unlock, they unfold. This isn't luck. This is truth catching up with time. The version of you that's here now, steady, clear, grounded, is the one God was waiting to release into the rooms that used to feel out of reach. Because now, you're not walking into those spaces to prove anything. You walk in already belonging. And when you do, the room shifts to meet you. That quiet command, that undeniable presence, it's what divine preparation does. It doesn't just lift you up, it cements you. You're not trying to be recognized. You've become undeniable. You're not hoping to be seen. You're walking in a frequency that can't be ignored. Why did God wait until now? Because earlier would have required too much explaining, too much proving, too much noise from people who were never equipped to see you clearly. But now the atmosphere speaks before you do. Now, your fruit is visible, and your journey doesn't need defending. You're not searching for your voice. You're already walking in it. You're not wondering which path to take. You are the path. You're not waiting to be chosen. You finally remembered. You were marked before you even knew there was a race. That's what makes this moment different. Not just that things are finally happening, but that you no longer question if you deserve them. Because deep down, you know how long it took to become this version of you. How many internal shifts it required. How many how many faith-filled decisions were made in silence with no applause. And still, you showed up. And now, it's time the world sees what God already knew. God saw every piece of it, not just the moments others missed, but the ones you tried to forget. And more than just seeing, He held it. Every quiet sacrifice, every silent surrender, every unseen step of growth. And now, He's not just remembering it, He's revealing it, not through noise or spotlight, but through clarity. The kind that makes people look twice, the kind that shifts the atmosphere, the kind that says, without a word, there's something different about you. Not because you're elevated, but because you're rooted. That's your power now. You're not chasing attention, you're commanding presence with no performance needed. Because nothing draws more focus than a soul that walks in truth with no need for permission. And that's who you are now. You don't just carry light, you embody the journey. You move like someone who's seen the dark but chose not to live in it. And it's that quiet resilience, that deep peace, that still strength. That's how God shows His hand on your life. Not just in what you say, but in how you carry silence. In how you stand steady in chaos, in how your peace speaks volumes, even when you don't say a word. That's the evidence, not just in the blessings, but in how you hold them, not just in the visibility, but in the stability beneath it. That's why what's coming now won't fade, because this isn't something you forced, it's something you were formed for. And what God is unfolding in this season, it's not fragile, it's fortified. The relationships, the resources, the opportunities, they're not arriving with resistance, they're flowing with grace, because you're not trying to shape your life anymore. You're finally letting it rise into what it was always destined to be. So breathe. You don't have to explain it, you don't have to hustle for it. You don't need to keep a survival plan in your back pocket just in case. This isn't a moment this is a season that reveals. And the best part, you don't even have to announce it, because God already is. You are the evidence now, and the world is about to see, undeniably, why heaven waited for you.